Hey guys, and welcome back to another Slayer video. It's been a while since I've actually done a Road to 120 Slayer episode, but we are going to get back at it. This is going to be my goal for double XP weekend in this entire episode. I did complete over the weekend all on double XP, so we got a lot of really good gains there. And my plan is to actually try and push towards 120 for the entirety of the double XP weekend extended. I'm going to try and get really close to it. I have about 30 million XP remaining, so hopefully we can get about 20 million in the 10 days. That is the goal anyway. So now that you know the plan with this series and essentially my double XP weekend plans, we're going to get on with the video. So the first task we had was 206 corrupted creatures. As you saw earlier, I did activate my premium artifact, which gives me a 10% chance for the kill not to count towards the Slayer task, so that means I should get a little bit more kills in this Slayer task, which is pretty nice because Corrupted Creatures is a really good one. So I went with the Corrupted Workers like usual because they are the highest level Corrupted Creature and they do give the most XP. We're going to be using melee this time, and I am going to be using aggression potions, and I do find this task pretty chill. I don't need the vampirism scrimshot or anything. I do, however, need to eat food every once in a while because they do deal a lot of damage every little bit, especially when a lot of them are on you. But I do make sure to protect melee. This is much better than using Soul Split. I find that if you aren't using Protect Melee, you will get damaged really quickly. Also, using Devotion is really useful too. I do have it on my action bar, so that gets activated every once in a while, which does allow me to heal up a little bit more and save a little bit of food. So now jumping into the loot on this first task, as you can see we only got 2 keys to the crossing, so 600k right there. And then as for the chest, we actually got somewhat lucky here. We got around 2.8 mil. We got a good amount of Vital Sparks for 206 kills, and then also nearly 300,000 Slayer XP, so this was a really great task. Took 20 minutes to complete, so definitely looking forward to more Corrupted Creature tasks. Now moving on to the next task, we did skip a few and then ended up getting an Elves task. This is another really great task because it's pretty AFK, pretty quick, and the XP is also really great. So Elves, they are pretty AFK. You can lure them. I like luring about 3 or 4 into an area and then popping an aggression potion. And using Soul Split here is also much better than Protection Prayers because the Elves can actually deactivate those. So we are going to be doing that, and I don't find this task too difficult. If you do get too many Elves on you, however, they will hit you pretty heavily, so try not to have too many on you. But overall, it is a really great task. You make a lot of Slayer XP and also quite a bit of money as well. So this Elves task took around 20 minutes to complete, and as you can see, we made around 2.6 mil. That's some pretty good GP per hour right there. Also gained a little bit over 200,000 Slayer XP, so overall, a really, really great task. Now moving on to the next task, we ended up getting Crystal Shapeshifters, and if you guys watched my previous videos, you would know that I do like Crystal Shapeshifters. I even have them in my player-owned Slayer dungeon, which we are going to be killing them in. And this is the best spot to kill them because they aren't spread out, and they also can be automatically toggled to be aggressive, so you don't need aggression potions. So this makes this task really great. Also, if you do have the attuned crystal armor, it makes it even better because you can get more Tardian crystals per kill, and you can also reduce the damage dealt by 10% if you do have 2 pieces. So overall, this task is really great. It is slightly difficult if you do have more than 2 of them on you because they do hit really hard. They do have a few abilities, so you do need to watch your health, which is what makes this task not that AFK. You can die pretty quickly, so you do need to be a bit cautious on that. Now, the really good thing about Crystal Shapeshifters is that you do make quite a bit of money off of them. So as you can see, about 2.2 mil there, and the task took around 20 to 30 minutes to complete. We also got 337 of the Tardian crystals, and they are around 2 to 3k each once you exchange them for the crystal gear. Also, the Slayer XP is really, really great here. We got 337,000 Slayer XP. That is kind of the main reason why I like doing this task. You do get some decent GP, but the XP is really great. And moving on to the next task, we have 139 Shadow Creatures. This is a task that I don't do very often, but it is actually a pretty solid task, especially if you do have them in your player-owned Slayer dungeon. Unfortunately, I do not, so it isn't going to be as good. But this is actually one of the better tasks in terms of XP if you do have them in your player-owned Slayer dungeon. So I am going to be trying to get a few souls here. I'm not sure if I'm going to put them in the Slayer dungeon because I am thinking of working on Ripper Demons and eventually getting them in there. So I'm not really sure about that, but we are going to at least capture one soul just for the Slayer Codex. Overall, it's going to be a pretty quick task. The only bad part about this task is you don't make much money, like barely anything, but the XP is pretty great. And so looking at the loot breakdown, it is basically what I expected. We only made 242k, so that is super low, but the XP is pretty great. We got 258,000 Slayer XP, and the task took around 15 to 20 minutes to complete, so the XP per hour is really high, but the GP is probably one of the worst. We did, however, capture a soul, so we are going to be adding that to the Slayer Codex. I also had a Calgarian Demon soul left over from a previous task that I did, so we did add that in there as well. And so moving on to the next task, we got 160 Elves, another really nice task. So we are going to be doing this one again. We're going to probably get about the same results. So we are going to do the exact same method using the scythe in the same spot with the aggression potions. And if you guys do happen to have Elves unlocked, if you just have Prifdinus unlocked and Morvan, definitely make sure you do these tasks. You can even do it if you don't have a Slayer task. You can do Elves and you can make pretty good money per hour. It's like 5 or 6 mil, so definitely a really great creature to kill just in general. And looking at the loot breakdown, it is very similar to the previous task, which we just had 5 more Elves in. So we made a little bit under 200,000 Slayer XP, but we also gained 2.4 mil GP. And this just shows that this task is really consistent money. Like it's basically always the same because the drops are just so consistent. And moving on to our next task, we have 85 Dinosaurs, and this task is going to take much longer than all the other tasks that I have done so far, but you do also gain a lot of XP from this. So we are going to be doing Brutish Dinosaurs with the cannon. This is the best method to kill Brutish Dinosaurs. You can kill the most per hour. Now the nice thing about Brutish Dinosaurs is that they do give 3.1k Slayer XP per kill, and since it is double XP weekend, we're going to be getting a little bit over 6k per kill. So that is a lot of Slayer XP. Now the only downside about this is you don't make as much money as you used to. The Tomb Shroom Spores, they have decreased drastically since I used to do this task a lot. So that is going to be a bit disappointing. We're not going to make as much money as usual. Also, if you guys remember, I have been keeping all of my loot from all my previous tasks. So the Tomb Shroom Spores, they have decreased just a ton. They used to be worth 100k each, now they're 6k each. So I did take a big hit just in the overall Slayer loot tab from that. So that is a little bit disappointing. But it's going to be nice to see just the overall loot from 120 Slayer when we're all done. And the loot breakdown from Brutish Dinosaurs, as you can see, we made 2.4 mil, so not too bad there. We also got 527,000 Slayer XP, so that is pretty great. The task did take around an hour to complete, so there is that, but it is some pretty good Slayer XP anyway. Next, we ended up getting another Corrupted Creature task, so can't complain about this. This is probably my favorite task because it's just so chill and relaxing. So we're going to be going back to the Corrupted Workers. I'm going to be using the exact same setup as before with my Scythe and my Masterwork Armor, and then just using the Aggression Potions. So this task shouldn't take too long, probably around 15 to 20 minutes to complete. And so we ended up only getting 1 key from this task, so we have been a little bit dry on the keys to the crossing, only 3 keys in 2 tasks. But in terms of the loot chest, this one is a little bit disappointing as well. We got around 1.6 mil here, but the XP is pretty great, almost 240,000 Slayer XP. Now moving on to our next task, we ended up getting a Living Wyvern task. This is one of my favorite tasks now as well. It's nice to mix it up with some AFK tasks and then also a few active ones like this one as well. Now, right before I was going ahead to go to Living Wyverns, I decided to siphon off my gear, and I ended up getting the invention pet Malcolm, so that was really lucky. I am 118 invention, but it is nice to have that pet. So we're just going to activate that right now. Pretty cool one to have, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So now moving on to the actual task, we are here at Living Wyverns. As you can see, my setup, it is pretty good, I would say. So I'm using Drygores with my Masterwork, and then I also have my Wormfire potions and my Overloads, as well as a bunch of Prayer potions. Now the thing here is that you need to protect melee. They do use magic-based attacks if you are at a distance from them, so you do need to close that distance, which is why I am using melee. Now, Living Wyverns, they aren't actually that difficult to kill. You can kill them pretty quickly, however, they do deal a lot of damage, especially dealing the poison over time. Now, I did forget my anti-poisons. That is something that you really should bring if you're going to be killing wyverns, but I did manage without them, and it wasn't that bad. Now, also, throughout this task, we ended up getting 116 Slayer. For some reason, it didn't record when I got the actual level up, but we did make it to level 116 during this task, so that was pretty exciting. Now, looking at the loot from Living Wyverns, this is pretty good. It was around a 20-minute task to complete, and we made 3.3 mil, so you can see that this is about a 10 mil per hour creature, excluding the costs. And then also we got 210,000 Slayer XP, which is also really great. Overall, just a really amazing Slayer creature, and I just love getting these tasks. Now, our next task is another one that I don't do too often. It's Ganodermic Creatures. This is a pretty easy task. They're kind of weak, so there's nothing really too difficult about them. The nice thing about Ganodermic Creatures is that you can kill them really fast. They also don't really deal that much damage. I decided to use aggression potions a little bit during this task just to make it go by a little bit faster. And you also do make a decent amount of money from this task, usually a little bit over 1 mil, like 1 to 2 mil, and the task only takes just 15 minutes to complete. So looking at the loot from this task, we got around 1.5 mil, and then also 107,000 Slayer XP. So not too bad. I mean, this task isn't the best, but it is a pretty quick one to do, which is why I just go ahead and complete them. Now, moving on to the total loot breakdown. In this episode, as you can see, we made 21 mil. So nothing really too crazy. We did complete 9 Slayer tasks to make that. So it is pretty much expected, something around that. And then we also got 2.3 million Slayer XP, which is pretty good for an episode. This gets us up to nearly 30 mil on the series. And then also the total loot tab is estimated at 580 mil right now. It is going to be interesting to see at the end when I do sell it all, how close it is to that estimated number, because I just calculate it based on the GE costs when I do get the loot. So it's going to be interesting to see if the prices on all my loot goes up or down when I do complete the series. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you do enjoy this series just as much as I do making it, because it is one of my most favorite things to do. Slayer, by far my favorite skill, and I can't wait to continue doing this over Double XP weekend. I want to try and have a few more episodes out during the 10-day Double XP. So I hope you guys do enjoy that. And if you do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.